Hi everyone, my name's Veronica and I help teams uncover untapped potential by giving voice to the unspoken. In this video, I'd like to talk about one of the recent findings from the Australian Institute of Management 2020 COVID-19 Pulse Survey. And this particular statistic really intrigues me. It's around what challenges Australian workers at the moment. And the finding was that 25% of Australian workers are challenged by giving and receiving directions. So what has really intrigued me about this is that giving and receiving directions at the moment in particular, while you could argue it's always a very important aspect of working in human dynamics together, but I think at the moment there is an increased significance around it because of the fast-paced nature of change. You know, things are moving so quickly, and a lot of the time we don't know what's really around the corner. And so it's led me to some curiosity around what could this statistic really be indicating, and how could we co-create a foundation that could help support people at this moment in our uncertain environments to be able to give and receive directions more easily and more effectively with each other. And so what's really going on? My thoughts at the moment are that given the level of uncertainty that we've all been living through, that it's quite natural for there to be a lack of clarity. You know, we have had to really adjust on the fly. And so with that, we can be unsure about how to place ourselves in our work environments. Our roles and responsibilities may also be shifting as we need to react and respond to emerging priorities that none of us could see, you know, in the horizon prior to COVID-19. But what it can leave us with is a sense of not knowing and not feeling confident, not knowing who we are, our sense of identity as we knew it in our role and responsibilities prior to the disruption of COVID-19 may not be the same as what we're being asked to step into now. And so it can bring up a whole range of expectations of our performance that we're uncertain about. And it can bring up just a level of confusion that often feels like it's unique just to us when we're in the midst of it. And that can make it difficult or increasingly challenging to ask and receive directions. Another aspect that I think could be at play at the moment is the immediacy that things need to be done. You know, there's been some amazing achievements that just watching from the sidelines of how quickly businesses have been able to change and really pivot so that they're able to be relevant and to be able to best serve their clients and their stakeholders in this extraordinary time. But I think what comes along with that is that sense of urgency and that busyness and activity that is going on, which gives very little room for us to be able to stop and consider the bigger picture, because we are reacting to immediate priorities all the time. And so with that, in a sense, we are operating from a highly stressed internal state, because the threat of the looming deadline, or the threat of the expectations that we need to meet, or the immediate priorities that we need to meet, can be kicks us into like a fight or flight response. And with that, we are really operating from a sense of survival. And so I believe that there could be an impact in terms of our ability to really ask and receive directions. And then there's also, the combination of lack of clarity, not knowing, a sense of loss of control, a redefining of our identity and the fear of whether or not we can meet expectations, and the busyness of the urgency of everything. It can start to really take its toll on our well-being and our emotional and mental state, and our relationship state as well. And so basically there are a lot of elements to our sense of well-being and safety as humans that are possibly being really confronted at the moment. And so our ability to ask and receive directions when we are feeling destabilized in so many ways can be very challenging. And so what I believe is that we have an opportunity to co-create a conscious team space together that can help set the foundation for symptoms like finding it challenging to ask and receive directions. And we start with being very overt about exploring our stories. And when we talk about exploring our stories, it's not about the process steps of a task. It's about the human story. It's about what I'm finding uncertain, what I'm finding challenging about this time, what I'm finding my own imagination running wild about, and that my deepest fears at this point are about this. And as we share those stories together, we gain a greater level of team understanding, and the unity that is built through the disclosure and the sharing of our vulnerable selves is a long-term connection that is there because of what we are able to, how we're able to see ourselves in each other. The sanctuary is about consciously creating a trusting and safe space together. And that starts with really exploring, what does that mean? As a concept versus what it means to be living it can sometimes be quite different things. So it's about understanding what we believe is important in terms of a safe and trusting environment, and what does that mean to us, and then living it. Synergy. How do we step into action that is in alignment with living a trusting and safe environment together? And how do we hold the space when we have moments of human lapse, which is very natural. That's what happens. We are imperfect. We will give it a go. Sometimes we'll stumble. Sometimes we'll forget. So there is a process around how we can hold that space together as a team. And ultimately, we're looking to create an open environment, an open sharing, an open space together. One that we can look for opportunities together, and we can really explore and reframe what our past experiences have been and create new opportunity for the future. And originality being around new ideas, new ways of working. Ultimately aimed at co-creating an empowered and enabled team. So if you'd like to find out more about how we might be able to work together to co-create this very proactive, in a proactive way, this environment that enables agility and enables innovation through trust and safety, that's created by the team, for the team, please feel free to book a one-on-one scoping call. It's a 15-minute session, really designed to explore what's going on for you and your team at the moment and to see whether there is any way that I might be able to be of service to you. Meanwhile, may you have a magical workday every day. Thank you.